Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, the series where I share my review and my opinion on different video games I have experienced. Today's video is about my ongoing quest to find something similar to Hollow Knight whilst waiting for Silksong. This time, I came around the game called Skelattack. Skelattack is an action platform indie game developed by an indie studio known as Ukuza. Ukuza has been one of the plenty studios out there that collaborate with other studios in order to develop one big game, but this time it was their first time trying a standalone game. According to their team, one person was developing this game on his own, but when his friend learned about it, he suggested to make it bigger and put all the team behind it in order to work for it. The game was released in June 2020 and was published by Konami through their new project of publishing indie developers. The game's trailer was immediately noticed for looking very similar to other IPs. Ukuza were aware of this, and thus they always mentioned how Skelattack was heavily inspired by the likes of Hollow Knight, Cuphead, and Ori and the Blind Forest. By acknowledging this and constantly mentioning it, they successfully avoided any negative criticisms and also successfully acquired the glance of its respectful fanbase. It wasn't unlike Glimlight nor Crown's Crow, which both got attacked for looking exactly like Hollow Knight. The story focuses on two friends, Scully, a young skeleton who seems to be new in the afterworld, and Imber, a small bat who is close friends with Scully. The two want to meet the Elder who requested the duo's presence. The Elder seems to know more about Scully than himself and explains to him how he should embark on a path of remembrance, a path that will allow the heroes to awaken their sleeping memories of who they used to be. In order to do so, he requests that the next morning the heroes should visit the temple to pass the test of warrior. If they successfully do so, then they are ready for their challenge. During the test, living humans appear in the underworld and they capture the Elder. Scully obtains a legendary longsword left by the hero of their time and sets on a quest to find out why the humans appeared in the world of the dead and why their presence might lead to the dead of all afterlife. At the same time, the game doesn't forget that the main goal of Scully's adventure is to remember who he actually was when he was alive. The game's story is interesting, which was something I was surprised, as honestly some parts were a bit questionable. The game's plot is delivered through its imagery, but also with plethora of speech bubbles, which makes the plot easy to follow. There's a few things that my mind didn't pick up from the start, but the more I proceeded into the game, the more I was expecting the grand reveal to be what I was expecting it to be. The character of Scully and Imber are very good, not deep, but pleasant. The character designs are very good looking and hand-drawn, and have a cartoonish look and expressive facial expressions. The game is an action platform game which places the player in the shoes of Scully, a small skeleton on his quest to save the Elder and the life of the underworld as he tries to push away all the humans who are venturing around the dungeon. Scully is a skeleton who can sprint, jump and double jump in order to move his way around the dungeons. By succeeding the warrior's trial, Scully obtains a powerful longsword that he uses to kill anyone on his way. The player is tasked to venture around various locations in order to save the underworld. Along the way, the hero will come across various NPCs who reward the player with more mechanics, if they choose to help them. One of the skills the skeletons receive is the ability to wall bounce. This is a great ability that allows the player to maneuver around the world more easily. Furthermore, the player also obtains the ability to throw one of his bone ribs as boomerang. The boomerang can hit enemies and also obtain items when touching them. Defeating boss encounters unlock further abilities such as healing. Healing can only occur while Scully isn't partnered with Imber. Imber is capable of healing Scully as long as there is blue mana bar. Another ability the heroes get is the triple jump and the super slash. There is more abilities to be unlocked, but I'll leave them for you to unlock and find out yourselves. The last playable character is of course Imber. Imber has two different gameplays, one where she carries Scully around killing objects, and one when she is on her own. In the first section, Imber simply picks up Scully and moves around from platform to platform as Scully cannot reach there otherwise. In the second style, the player is controlling Imber with the goal of moving around and collecting items. Imber requires the player to tap the button in order to elevate, as by default she will drop lower and lower. She also has the ability to use spin tackle attack, which she can use to avoid the projectiles and attack other targets. Death occurs often in the game, as spikes and fire are literally one-shot kill mechanics for Scully, whereas enemy hits and projectiles simply reduce the life bar. The game has plenty of checkpoints, which are represented with blue fires, which kind of defeats the purpose of the challenge platforming, but given certain things to consider such as weird hitboxes and buttons, it makes up for them. The maps also have weird slime creatures of colors blue and green. The green slimes will heal Scully when approaching them and the blue ones will restore his mana bar. Furthermore, each map has checkpoints with tunnels which allows the player to fast travel from location to location. This is useful as the player can always leave in order to upgrade his skills and equipment and return back. To do so, the player requires to spend gems, which are easy to collect but easier to lose as well. When Scully dies, he drops some of his gems. The game also has two types of collectibles: crafting materials, which can be used in order to upgrade the sword, and torn pages, which cover the lore of this world. Overall, Skelattack is a mediocre game that can be completed within 3 hours. The game does take a lot of references from Hollow Knight, but it fails to capture the magic. Hollow Knight is a fair game that if you get hit or mess up something, the blame is of the players. In Skelattack, the problem is that sometimes the visual presentation is not as clear and thus you die when you spawn, or by assuming you landed on a playable area. This problem could be easily addressed by cleaning the animations a bit, but I'm not a game developer, I don't know. Furthermore, the wall bounce mechanic is relying on direction of movement than button smashing, which is not good for parkour mechanic, seeing how similar games simply use the jump button to wall bounce. The story is honestly very good, and the characters are very likable. Last but not least, the game is not expensive and is also featuring plenty of sales, which makes it generally more easy to acquire. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below what are your thoughts on the game and whether or not you'll play it in the future. If you're still not sure, you can check my website, link below, for more details about the game. Till then, take care and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!